right. You're listening to one of the three Hogsmen. Big Duke couldn't make it this week. Said maybe next week. And Devin
vanished off the face of the earth.
He's not here. Who knows where he's at? I have an idea where he's at. Actually, I was texting with him last night. But you're listening to the Hogsman podcast.
Maybe he's a time variant now.
He's a time variant, maybe. And it is Wednesday. It's June 23rd. And what's going on? NPA, not producer Adam. What's happening?
Nothing. We both had a wrestling weekend this weekend.
We did.
Something happened to your eye, it looks like.
Yeah, I caught something. What is that? Is my right eye?
Yeah.
I have no idea where it came from. So I was wrestling for Canada Pro on Saturday, and we were at the Ember dispensary in La Mesa, EMBR, Ember, I'm guessing that's what it was. And good show, man. Cool venue. They had us like basically set up like in their warehouse area, like in the back.
You were probably thankful it wasn't an outside show because it was hot on Saturday.
Yeah, but it was a nighttime show, so it wasn't like that bad. But yeah, it was a cool show, man. Good crowd there. Good crowd showed up. It was fun, man. Godfather was there. I said hi to him. I didn't really say anything much more. He was kind of getting hounded left and right, so I didn't want to be one of those people to be like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. You just get forgotten in the sea of people.
Yeah, I walked up and I said, hey, man, how you doing? And then, introduced myself, and that was about it. I saw pictures, like, circling around, like Hebon, he released some pictures from the event. It looks like he was, like, holding court on a bunch of the students. I don't know when that happened. Interesting to hear what he was talking about. But, yeah, man, it was a good show. I wrestled, I was in a triple threat. I faced off against charming Biagio Crescenzo and Cameron Gates. Nice little match.
Yeah.
Not too long. We had about 12 minutes. Benny was like, hey, try to make it 10. Because we were kind of already running a little long. So I was like, no problem. And, yeah. I mean, 10 minutes when you have 3 people involved, it's a pretty easy match to put together, like, unless somebody wants to be like selfish and be like, no, I got to get this in, I got to get this in, I got to get, it's like, no, man, there's 3 of us, we have 10 minutes, pick some stuff that you want to do, and let everybody else get something else in, and let's go. You
especially add to the fact that the Godfather was there, so you run into that sometimes where people are like, 10 minutes, I got to get everything, and so the Godfather can see it all.
Yeah, and it's like, listen, man, Godfather's awesome, he's a cool dude, but I don't think he's gonna get you signed. I don't think he's like really in the wrestling. Like he's not like scouting for anybody.
I don't think he's gonna text the Undertaker as the match is going on and let him know, hey, you got to tell Vince about this
guy,
about this Mike Camden kid.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good event, good show. No complaints here. They were good. The Ember dispensary is very nice to us, and I appreciate it. How'd you go? You were up at West Coast Wrestling Company in Hemet.
It was very hot. So the locker room we ended up having was not really big enough for everyone, so a lot of us just had to hang out outside.
Yep, that's normal.
No fans were over by there, but no, it went really good. Other than the heat, the venue was really cool. The stuff we did, me and Danny, Rick Ellis, and Eric Cross, who are a group up there. I don't know if you've ever met Eric Cross, but
no, he was around when I first got into the business, and then it seems like the past couple years he's taken off, but I don't think I've ever crossed paths with him.
I see what you did there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, no, so we're a group up there. We just kind of started the last show, so we just kind of acted like idiots and just did our goofy, dumb shit, and by the end of the night, Rick Ellis was the champion.
Cool.
And Gatson was really happy with the match. He said that Rick exceeded his expectations for the fact he hasn't been in the ring in a while.
Yeah.
Hadn't even been able to get in the ring to train for this match. He was kind of going to like the Apex gyms to just do rolls and stuff on mats just to kind of get the mechanical stuff out of the way. But the match was really good. It was really simple. Gatson, is the man. He made it as simple as possible for someone who hadn't been in the ring in a long time. He's probably a little mad at me because I hit him with the belt, and that's how he lost, So he might be looking for revenge on me someday.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. I saw a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Andy from Anchors Away, he was up there. Always a good time to see him. He's funny.
One of my trainers.
Yep. But overall, the show was good. It was really quick. Like, we did our first segment, which started off the show, and then a match. And then, like, maybe 30, 40 minutes later, Nestor walked by me to go out for his match. And I was like, guys, I think they're the semi-main. I think we're up next. So I think the show all in all was like an hour and like 30 minutes.
I wouldn't complain about that.
I didn't complain about it at all. It was
I love
awesome. The best part was Ellis's wife and kids showed up without telling him.
Oh, yeah?
So it was kind of a nice surprise because they've never seen him wrestle. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so that was cool. No, it was a lot of fun. Probably the most fun I've had at a wrestling show and that I was involved in like forever.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I like when shows keep it around the 2-hour mark.
yeah,
You know, it's like going to a movie. You know, you don't want to go to a movie that's 3 hours long unless it's a really, really
unless
good
it's
movie.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
like, you're like, all right.
It's really, really good. But you know, I think like 2 hours is a good. It's a good time frame for a wrestling show. You know, it's not too long. It's not too short. I think it's a good amount of time.
Apparently, we had a strict time limit on the venue, and that's kind of what we had to keep it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted us done and all the stuff out by 8, and like the show started at 6. So it was very quick. But like I don't think pretty much everyone stuck to their times, and nobody really went above and beyond. I mean, we took a lot longer to celebrate the title win than were originally asked, but it kind of worked out because you know heels shouldn't just bail out with the title; they should celebrate like idiots for 3 minutes and piss off the crowd. The crowd was great too. The crowd, a couple people said that they weren't sure that we were gonna be that hated by the end of the show, and literally in like 2 hours, the crowd was they hated us by the end of it. So
nice. That's good.
That's all that matters. Like it doesn't like the match is good. That's great. But if the crowd is into it, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, you know, if the crowd is just biting on everything you're doing, you know, even if the match isn't like a 5-star, 6-star match, whatever the fuck that is, you know, as long as the crowd is just reacting to what you're doing, that's all you're looking for, man.
Yeah,
that's all you're looking for. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I like Jeff Dino at SoCal Pro was always really good at keeping the shows really tight.
Yeah.
You know, like we would start at 7:00 and be done by 9:00. And, you know, sometimes you'd go over, you know, 9:15 or something like that. But in general, it was always a pretty tight, you know, show. Like, it ran on schedule, I guess you could say.
I think most people saw PWG would always start super late, and they're like, well, PWG does it. Why can't we do it? I'm like, well, that's because people are knowing going to that show, we're going to be here till like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, there's times when I've been at those shows where it's like, oh, it's 2 a.m. and the main event's going out now. And I'm like, we're not getting home until 5.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes with some of these shows, man, it's like 11:30 and the main event's going on. And it's like that crowd is tired.
Yep.
The show started at 8.
Yep.
You know, or 7:00. And it's like, the crowd is just exhausted, man. And I would feel bad for the main event, the guys that had main event slot, because it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to get this crowd back on their feet? Like, they're exhausted, man.
There's probably not much you can do at that point. They're just ready to go. They're like, cool, let's get this over with. This is the last thing we're going to see. Once it's over, we'll leave, and that's it.
It's weird because, like, back in the day, like, that's what everybody wanted to be, right? It was like the main eventer.
Yep.
And I understand it. You know, back in the day, the main event got more money. You know, they got paid more, whereas we don't.
No.
But now I look at it and, you know, I go, I don't want to be the main event. You know, give me that open. Give me the first match. First match is great. You know why? Fresh crowd.
Yep.
They pop for a body slam.
Especially now, they're like ready to see wrestling because they haven't seen it in so long. So they're like, cool, let's go.
So it's like you can go and get your, you know, do your match, and you got a hot crowd because you're the first match on. You can, you know, you know, this is the problem. The first match, they don't know how to a lot of people don't know how to, you know, hold back. I guess, you know, like, yeah, you have all these abilities to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that's great, man. But the thing is, you're the first match. If we were at dinner, you're the salad.
Yep.
You know, so give them a little bit of something to start, get the match, you know, get the night started. Don't go overboard, because remember, there's 6, 7 matches, 8 matches after you, and they need these little tricks of the trade to keep this crowd invested. But if you go out there and you just start pulling off every trick of the trade on the first match, well, then you fucked everybody else in the back. And I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen before, and it's a nightmare to watch, and it's frustrating to watch promoters Just be like, oh yeah, they're good wrestlers, huh? And it's like, yeah, they are. But they're the first match.
Yeah.
You think you should be letting them do all this shit? You think you should be giving them 15 minutes on the first match?
No.
Like, come on, let's be real here, man. This should be an 8-minute match, faces up, and no real, craziness to it. Just a straight up match. But some people they can't comprehend that. Some promoters can't. They don't have the nutsack to be like, hey guys, you got to hold back.
Yeah.
Hold back. I've literally sat and talked to promoters, and and the money people for a lot of these companies, and been like, listen, man, you guys, if you let the boys walk all over you, they will.
Yeah, of course.
They will.
Yeah.
Do
whatever they want.
There's nothing wrong with you giving guys limitations, restrictions, before the match or before the show. All right, first match, so-and-so, do me a favor, guys, keep it in the ring, keep it under 8 minutes, no dives, no false finishes, whatever.
Yeah.
How hard is that to do?
Not hard.
And the problem is, because a lot of these promoters, they don't want to be the dick.
Yeah.
They want to be cool with the boys, right? They want to be cool with the boys. And it's like, hey man, you're paying them.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, they work for you tonight. So here's an idea. Pay them well.
Yeah.
Say, hey guys, here's what I need out of this match. Here's the restrictions. Here's, what I don't need you guys doing. And if they break that, hey guys, here's your pay, but I'll never bring you back again.
And they'll be cool with you if you pay them.
Exactly.
You don't need to be their friend.
Exactly.
It's kind of like parenting children. You're not your kid's friend. You're just like there to push them along to make the right decisions. Like that's pretty much being a wrestling promoter can be.
I think that's one of the biggest things, man, is like promoters, do your job.
Yeah.
Or if you have a guy who's booking for you, bookers, do your job.
Yep.
Walk around to the show or to the matches and be like, hey guys, here's what I don't want you guys to do in this match. Because later down the road in the show, the main event's going to do this. The semi-main's going to do this. And they need that. The first match doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Second match don't need it. Anyways, that's just me going off.
No, it's a good point. I mean, at the end of the day, like everyone thinks they need to do a million moves, but yet in the last couple of years, a guy who literally just puts his hand in his pockets got more over than anyone. That's all he does.
I know.
And you're like, okay, well, you don't need to do all this stuff if you can just find the thing that gets you over.
Yep.
Because everyone's doing the same shit, wrestling, like move wise and stuff like that. So it's like, come up with something that's unique to you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyways, local news. I don't know if you heard about this. Terrible news, sad news. There's a wrestler named Amazing Jr.
Oh yeah, I saw you talking about it.
He broke his neck at a show this past weekend. I think somewhere down in like the El Centro area.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
But anyways, I've never wrestled Amazing Jr. I've been on the same shows as him before. Very good wrestler, very athletic, and I don't know what happened. I haven't seen any video. I haven't heard about what the move was, but apparently he landed on his head, and from what I heard, he broke 2 vertebrae.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds like he is walking.
Okay, that's
like
good.
he was able to walk out, like get out of the ring himself. Just scary, man. It's scary, dude. And as much as a lot of the old timers talk about, hey guys, you gotta be careful. You're too dangerous. All that kind of stuff. And a lot of people will be like, oh, shut up, geezer. It's stuff like this. Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's crazy, right? It's gnarly. This is what you don't want to happen. So yeah, hearing that sucks, man.
And if someone has the footage, please don't ever release it. There's so much of that stuff I just don't need to see.
Yeah.
Like there's the thing a couple years ago with the guy who died in the ring. I'm like, I don't need to see that. I didn't need to see the Paraguayo.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that footage. I don't need to. Like, you can tell me what happened, but it just looks so tacky to put that out there.
It's
especially when you know what happens to the person after,
Yeah. I also look at it as, I mean, with Pero Aguayo,
Yeah.
which was insane because there's nothing really that happens.
Completely freak accident. Something that, would never happen a million other times that would have happened.
Yeah, if you watch that video, you literally wouldn't even know anything wrong happened.
Nope.
Same with was it Silver Fox?
I'm not sure.
He passed away, I think, like a year ago or something like that.
Okay.
He I think he was wrestling Hoovy,
Oh, no, I hadn't heard
and
about
I think
that.
he like suffered like a heart attack or something like that in
Yeah.
the ring, where like it was nothing visually. You didn't see anything, go wrong,
Mhm.
but something did.
Yeah.
And actually, this just happened in soccer, right? Some guy had like a heart attack. I can't remember what
Yeah,
team.
yeah. I don't know exactly what happened. And to their credit, they never showed anything of what happened to him.
Uh-huh.
All I saw was the players basically making a wall around him and the paramedics.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't hear anything about it since. So I guess the guy's still alive, thankfully. But
Yeah. It sounds like they were fast acting.
yeah,
Like one of the referees immediately started like doing CPR
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And that's the thing that's scary about with pro wrestling is we have to act hurt. We have to act hurt, right? It's called selling. And so a lot of times you can be legitimately hurt and people just think like, "Oh, he's faking it."
yeah,
So that's a problem, right? And sometimes the referees, sometimes the other wrestlers, sometimes the boys in the back, they get tricked also. They don't know if you're really hurt or if you're not. Actually, just in training a few weeks back, one of the guys, they were just doing like a little spot or something, and I think threw a clothesline, and he popped his shoulder out.
jeez,
And he fell. And first I was like, yo, that was a great sell. Because like he was trying to act like his arm was hurt from giving the clothesline.
yeah,
And then like a few seconds go by and we're like, are you hurt? Like, is this real? And he's like, yeah, it's real. And we're like, oh shit, but and he was able to pop it back in.
yeah,
But, we fall for it. Sometimes you're like, oh, they're just selling. But then you have to go, oh, wait, is this real? Is this legit?
yeah,
So, and that to me it makes what we do a little bit more dangerous, right? Because you can be legitimately hurt, and people are thinking you're faking it,
yeah.
you're selling,
And
right?
and every show, you necessarily don't have someone that's kind of knows what
First aid
knows how to fix
certified.
it. Like
Yeah,
there's like there was a couple weeks ago there was the Davey Richards was at a show and like a fan passed out, and luckily he's a paramedic, trained paramedic, so he was able to help the guy and whatnot. So it's good to have people like that on shows that help out and stuff. But I know Level Up has the same thing. They have someone who's right.
Well, Amy is a nurse.
So if something happens, she would at least know what to do. Like, so that's always good to have. But not every show is going to have that.
No.
So every show you could be like, I think I broke something, but I have no idea. So then you have to go to the hospital and figure all that out. And it's
Yeah, I really I'm a big proponent of referees checking on the boys while they're wrestling.
yeah,
Just coming up and being like, you okay? Are you okay?
Yep.
Like after every slam, after every big move, just go, hey, you okay? All right, yeah, cool. Because I appreciate that.
yeah,
Nothing worse than like a referee that is basically non-existent.
standing in the corner doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I always want the ref. I like the idea of the ref coming over and checking out the wrestlers, and it just makes you a little bit more. It feels a little bit more safe because they're checking on us constantly. And if you keep doing that, they get more used to how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
And the second they know that, like, hey, wait, this isn't normal,
Yeah.
then they can tell something's off. Because who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, man. I hope everything's okay with Amazing Junior. I hope everything works out. I'm glad to hear that he was moving.
Yeah.
And he was able to, walk out on his own. Because that shit's fucking scary.
Yeah, you hear
man.
broken neck. You don't know. Does that mean like just broken neck or
Yeah.
not just broken neck? That's obviously a big deal, but like there's levels to it. There's the level when Austin broke his neck and
Yep.
he was paralyzed. It was never the same.
Yeah.
And then there's, broken
Draws.
necks, draws. And there's Kurt Angle, broken neck, that kind of stuff. Like it's all over the place with long-term effects that it can have. But
Yeah.
yeah, if he's walking, that's all that matters,
Yeah.
Like it's so irrelevant if he ever wrestles again at this point. It's kind of like if you can walk again, great.
Yeah, man, wrestling it's irrelevant, like
Yeah.
who cares? Like the more important thing is how are you going to live the rest of your life?
Yes.
The quality of life you're going to have. And that's the thing, man. Sometimes, like I said, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't
Mhm.
know what move they were trying to perform or anything like that. But sometimes you just gotta hold back
Yeah.
and be like, wait a minute, is there something else we can do here that has the same reward, if not more, and the risk factor is a lot less. Like when we were going over the match this past weekend, Biagio, Cam, and myself, I brought up a certain move. I brought up the Doomsday device, right? Which I feel it can be done safely. And it's a big, it's a big move.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what either Cam or Biagio thought about modifying it a little bit. Modifying it more into a flatliner. The guy jumping off the rope would give a flatliner, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, if we had time to, like, let's say we all trained together, right? And we had practiced this move on like a crash mat and all that kind of stuff, then okay, cool. We've done this plenty of times in training and we've pulled it off successfully, safely. Cool, let's do that. But the thing is, all three of us, we don't train together. And this move, there's a lot of risk. Flatliners in general scare me for some reason. I don't know. Like, I don't like face bumps. I'll take them, but they always kind of give me the heebie-jeebies.
Because you're the Hogs man.
Sure.
So you don't want to take that front bump.
Exactly. And, so we were talking about it, and then eventually I told the guys, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing this move because, one, it just sounds too dangerous. And actually, in the move, I'm the safest out of all of them. But the thing is, I told them, I'm like, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And that's the thing. Like, I'm 38, right? I'm a lot older. I think Biagio has, at the oldest, is probably, 23, 24. Same with Cam. I'm guessing they're young 20s. They're all full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
And, if it was somebody else around that same age, they might have still pulled that. They might have gone for that move and tried pulling it off. But because it was me, I was like, we're putting the kibosh on this. We're not doing this, guys. I'm telling you right now, we're not doing it. And they were like, yeah, okay, we agree. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
If one person doesn't feel comfortable performing a maneuver, a sequence of events, a spot, whatever, respect that.
Yeah.
Respect that.
Don't push it.
Don't push it, man. Just, there's another way. There's another way.
There's a million moves in wrestling.
There's a million moves.
You can do something else.
Do something else, man. What else is going on in the wrestling world? Is anything really going on? Didn't they have like a pay-per-view this weekend?
Yes, they had Hell in a Cell yesterday.
How'd that go? Did you watch any of it? Did you hear anything from
it? Drew McIntyre lost to Bobby Lashley.
Man, we're one hell of a wrestling podcast.
No, but I think they're at the point now where their crowds are going to be there for the next pay-per-view, so it's kind of like, you can watch us if you want, but we're not really putting much effort into it.
Really?
I mean, that's kind of just how it feels when I look at stuff. Like, instead of doing the Roman Ray match at the pay-per-view, they're like, let's just do it on SmackDown. So last week on SmackDown, they just had a Hell in a Cell match.
Huh.
And it's like, oh, I guess you can do that when you don't have crowds because you're not stealing a match from a pay-per-view crowd or anything like that. But
no, that's true. It's
true. Roman had a great line when he said Happy Father's Day to Ray after he beat him. I wish I could have stolen that,
Yeah.
It's a great line.
Actually, Dom showed up to the show on Saturday for a little bit.
In a full sling, I hope. Body cast.
Oh, yeah. What happened to him?
He got powerbombed out of the ring.
When he got chucked out of the ring? Oh, yeah. But yeah, I saw him. He stuck around for a little while. And then he had to bail out before my match, of course, but it's okay.
He's not going to learn anything if he doesn't get to see you work.
I know. He had a valid reason. He had a valid reason to leave. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, man, what else is new? What else is going on?
There's not much. Like, wrestling-wise, it's been very quiet. I think feels like everything is just kind of ramping up to like this next month, where everything's going to start to be in front of crowds again. Like, I know Ring of Honor's coming back in front of crowds. I know WWE's going to be back in front of crowds. And,
Yeah.
you know, SummerSlam is coming up, and it seems like they're going to load up that card and try to make it bigger than WrestleMania, they say.
Oh, really?
That's what they're saying, because it is legitimately like going to be their first big stadium show with a full crowd.
Oh, that's
Whereas
right.
kind of like last year they had WrestleMania, but then they went right back to the Thunderdome with no people.
Yeah.
So like I guess this is kind of like, well, after this we're back to full crowds. I mean, they're going to have crowds back starting in July, but they're going to be here in August. So
Well, I have a show this Sunday,
okay,
and it is for Global Lucha Libre. Global Lucha Libre.
you're back to the Weekend Warrior, huh?
Yeah, totally. This show is gonna happen up in Escondido. And the address is gonna be 1891 East Valley Parkway in Escondido, California. So, anyways, I will be wrestling Primo Henyo Tribeca, also known as Hyde, but he, this is his new thing. So this will be the first time I wrestle Tribeca. I believe I don't know what Primo Henyo means. One day I'll figure it out. But anyways, this is the first time wrestling Tribeca. I've known him for a little while, and he's a good kid. I really like him. He's Santino's trained, so it'll be good, man. It'll be nice to get in there with him and see what he's made of.
See what he's made of.
Yeah.
Give him the old Camden seminar and test him out.
Give him the old Camden seminar, test him out. And then actually, I think on Saturday I'm gonna go to a amateur Muay Thai fight. Some kids from my Muay Thai gym are fighting King Tiger Muay Thai. They're actually giving me. So I thought it was gonna be like they were like, oh yeah, it's going down in like Chula Vista or something like that. So then actually I was there today. I was there at the. I was there today. I was in for there's like an afternoon class.
Yeah.
And the trainer, he was like, "Hey, are you gonna go to the show this weekend?" I was like, "Yeah, just tell me where it's at." I'm like, "It's down in Chula Vista somewhere, right?" And he's like, "No, actually, they moved it to Coronado." And I was like, "Oh, cool. You know, where's it at in Coronado?" And he goes, "I think it's the high school." So I was like, "Oh, well, I know exactly where that is because my mom's side of the family grew up on that side, or grew up in Coronado." So yeah, I think I'm gonna go check that out for a few hours and root for some of the guys that I train with.
That's a long day of driving for you.
Saturday?
Yeah, did you say the show's on Saturday? The wrestling show?
No, Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay.
Going to watch Muay Thai on Saturday, wrestling on Sunday. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Coronado, did you hear about the controversy with them this past few days?
I think I saw something, but I don't really know the full story on it.
It's like, I understand. Like, so what happened was, I guess they Coronado High played a basketball game against Orange Glen, which is an area up like around Escondido.
Okay.
And after the game, they somebody was throwing tortillas.
Yeah.
Did you hear about all this?
I saw a little bit of it, and then the next day there were people out, I guess, in front of the high school protesting against the high school or something like that.
Yeah, and I really feel like obviously it's like not like a good look.
Yeah.
It's a terrible look on Coronado's part. But I really feel like, listen, are you guys blowing this up a little bit too much? Like, it's just kids, but I don't know how many kids.
Yeah.
Doing stupid shit. You know? Like, I mean, I saw it on the front page of Yahoo. It's all over the news.
Yeah.
They're like, we're investigating this. And it's like, what's there to investigate? Find the fucking kids that were throwing tortillas and you punish them. You know? That's what you do. My wife just got home. She's usually not here while we're doing this.
Nope.
Beth, do you want to sit in for the podcast? All right. Well, then you got to go upstairs then. All right. But I feel like it's just blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like it's all over like the news is covering it, and it's like, guys.
Well, they need something to cover now, you know.
I had a pipe bomb go off at my school my first day freshman year, and you never heard about it at all.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know who did it. We don't even know like what happened to that kid because there was literally like no real information about it. You know, like, listen, These are kids. They did something stupid. They're like 16 years old, 17 years old. You know, you punish them appropriately. Don't put it all over the goddamn news and put it out there calling it like, labeling them racist and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? Who knows but you're going to destroy kids. You know, what you're doing to them for the future is worse than them just like chucking tortillas, which, it's bad.
Yeah.
But don't fuck these kids for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I know people make stupid decisions when they're young. You know, they do and say stupid shit because they just don't know any better.
Yeah.
And people can say, well, they should be taught better. I'm like, go back to when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Did you listen when people told you things?
No.
And now do you look back at that and go, oh, I should have listened to my parents when they said this or that or this or that?
No.
Like, kids just don't listen, and they're going to act how they're going to act. Like,
you know what also bothers me? You know this young lady, Billie Eilish?
Yeah.
You know, like apparently like she's got some controversy going on.
I haven't heard.
Because she used a derogatory term, what is it, like a racist term towards Asians back in 2011 when she was like 13 years old, 14 years old.
Wow.
Like, you're gonna harp on a kid that did this, what was that, almost a decade ago? And when she was 14,
yeah,
you really gonna get on her and punish her now for what she did back when she was that young?
Clint Eastwood literally made a whole movie where he just used racial slurs on Asians, the whole movie.
Gran Torino.
And everyone saw that movie, and I think he might have won an Oscar for it. Yep. So no one's going back to try to cancel him for that.
And
though.
I get it. It's not appropriate.
It's not. But
the thing is, remember, it happened 10 years ago. And she was like a young teenager when it happened. Yeah. So now you're going to come at her and this is the problem. You ask for change, right? People ask for change. And when you get change, you try and go back and punish people for something they did back when they, were years and years and years ago. Maybe they did change. You asked for change. You got change. You got what you asked for. But then you still want to go dig for something that somebody did in their past. So why would anybody want to change if you're just going to go back and fuck them, for something that they did when they were younger?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like now you're going to, I'm sure everyone at some point has said something that like, I hope no one hears I said that.
Yep. And anyways, Beth, you got any thoughts on the current times and situations that the world's in right now? Social issues? All right, that's my wife. She's not interested in it.
No.
I think we have a question, right?
We do have a question. I will pull it up right now, and I will find it on Instagram. This is from SoCal Gabe, and he asks, have any of the Hogsmen, it's only Mike, ever wrestled a match that ended in a time limit draw? Our time limit, let's go question by question. Have any of the Hogsmen ever wrestled in a match that ended in a time limit draw?
I don't believe I have. And I'm not sure if Duke or Devin have ever. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done that.
Are time limits in pro wrestling an antiquated concept?
First of all, Gabe, you're using big words towards me, okay? And I'm going to take that as offensive. Okay?
Prince using school word?
Because you're using big words. All right? What is it? What?
Antiquated concept. Like, do you think it's like a idea that's like this doesn't work anymore? Like an old timey idea?
No, I like it. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, every sport except for baseball involves time.
Yeah.
Right? Name another sport besides baseball that doesn't have time.
Golf.
There's a good one.
I guess racing to an extent. It's laps. So I don't know if that's time.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're right. Like that's the thing with baseball. It's like people always say, well, the game's never over because it's not like in basketball when you have a 30-point lead, you have 10 minutes to try to overcome that. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You're down by 10 in a baseball game, but it's the second inning. You could score 2 runs an inning for the next couple innings as long as you stop them.
Yeah.
You'll catch up.
But anyway, so you can also, in pro wrestling, if you involve time, it can also use that as a finish.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe it'll keep both guys strong.
Yep. It'll
lead towards another, match. It can build a feud, all that kind of stuff. can help the finish.
It did it with Omega and Okada a couple years ago.
Oh, did they?
The first two ended in time limit draws, and then
Okay.
the last one, I think they just said no time limit draws. And that works, but like people have to. The problem is with wrestling fans, you have to be patient,
Mm-hmm.
and most aren't. So most aren't going to sit there for an hour and go, "Oh, I'll watch this match."
Yeah,
But for some reason, with those matches, people go back and watch them, and they're both first two are an hour long. The second one's like an hour and a half long or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, every once in a while you can pull that off, but I don't think you can do that much these days because people are going to get bored.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think what's like a normal like 20-minute match, right?
Yeah, 20. I think a 20-minute match is probably about a
20-minute
good
time draw. Something
Yeah,
like that.
I think AEW does 30 minutes, but 20 minutes is good. I think 20 minutes is better.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, if you look at like the UFC right now, right? They do 3, just a normal match, not a title match or a main event. They do 3 5-minute rounds. All right, cool, man. Like let's say like in the second round or even in the third round, something happens the last 10 seconds. Somebody's got somebody on the ropes. They're kicking the shit out of them. And then all of a sudden the bell rings.
Yeah.
Match or either the round is over or the fight is over. But hey, man, it added something, right? Fuck, if he just had 10 more seconds, he could have finished that dude.
Yeah.
So it opens up possibilities for pro wrestling if you want to exploit that.
It protects guys a lot too. Like in WWE, the problem is people are always winning, losing.
Yeah.
You had time limits. You could have matches where, well, you can go to a time limit here and nobody has to win.
Yeah.
And then you can extend stuff rather than just blowing stuff off right away.
Well, back in the territory days when Flair was carrying the NWA belt, they would use that all the time.
Yeah.
He'd be going fucking an hour every night. And sometimes, like let's say he's in, someplace Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Or someplace, back in the territories, he's wrestling their local name, right? Their local face. So what they would do is they would go all the way to the time limit, right? And right before the time limit exceeded, they would have the face, kicking the shit out of Flair,
Yeah.
looking like he's about to put him away. The fans are going crazy because their guy is about to become the NWA champion, that he's about to beat Ric Flair, and all of a sudden the bell rings because the time limit.
Yep.
And they go, oh fuck, he almost had him. Well, guess what? In 4 months, he's getting a rematch.
Yep.
So what the fuck do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna have these crowd come by. Hey, last time so and so almost had Flair, man. He had him on the ropes. If you only had 5 more minutes, if you only had 1 more minute, fuck, that builds for the next match.
Yep.
Right? The fans go, God, he almost had him, man. He almost had him. So the next match they have, they got a sellout crowd again because their hometown boy almost beat the NWA champion.
Yep.
And it was just that's what Flair would do. He would walk around, or he would fly around wrestling, and that would be the finish a lot of times because when he came back, another sellout crowd because Flair almost got beat. Could you imagine that? Flair, like, he had to walk around like almost getting his ass kicked constantly, right? But that was the role.
Yeah.
That's what he figured out psychology wise, is like that's what will keep these people coming back.
Yeah. And think about that for a second with all the people today that are so prideful.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time literally was like, yeah, I'll get my ass kicked for every place. And
yeah.
I mean, he never lost. I mean, he lost the title eventually, but he would just go to these places and for the most part get his ass kicked all the time.
And they'd give that title right back to him after he lost it because they'd be like, oh shit, fucking houses are down. Get Flair back.
Yep.
Yeah, so I have no problem with time limit draws. I think or time limits. I think they're awesome. I think it brings something to the match also.
So then he asked, do you think companies like WWE hurt themselves by not having time limit draws as a means to end a match?
I don't know if they hurt themselves. I mean, a lot of those matches are supposed to only really go like 8 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
I think it's always something you can fall back on no matter what. Yeah. So
I think it's one of those things like if you don't have a clear-cut guy you want to win, you can just go to the draw.
Yeah.
And it makes it much easier.
Hey, you two, go out there. You have a 20-minute time, and go out there, go the whole time, and let's just see how this crowd reacts to you guys paired up. Let's see how they go. Let's see how they react. Let's see plan something that looks like it's going to be a finish, but it's not going to be a finish.
Yep.
Let's see how the crowd reacts. See if we have something here.
Yeah, it's like the time that Jericho won the title from Triple H and they stripped it from him like 30 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd went nuts when Jericho won, and that was Vince's like, oh, I can give Jericho the title someday, and I know it'll get over.
Yep.
So that is the kind of stuff. Well, obviously in the last year and a half, they haven't been able to do that. They've just been kind of just doing whatever. But, when crowds come back, we'll see.
Yep. That was a question. Thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, that was the only question this week.
Thanks, Gabe.
I don't know if something's up with the Instagram, but every time I post now, I really don't get many people reacting to anything at all.
It's okay. It's no big deal. Anyways, by the way, Gabe, thank you for showing up to the shows. Appreciate it. Big supporter of the wrestling business.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
Appreciate it.
And the Hogsman especially.
And the Hogsman.
He even asked where Devin was.
Who knows?
We don't even know the answer to that
Who
question.
knows?
He's texting you, but he's in an undisclosed location. Parts unknown.
He's in parts unknown. All right, man. You want to start wrapping this up?
We can. Have you heard anything? You have any opinions about this baseball scandal going on right now?
What's the scandal
With
going
the
on?
pitchers and the sticky stuff and all that stuff?
Oh, I've seen. I've seen. So they're just checking to see if they're doctoring the ball up.
Yeah. So I guess this has always been a rule, but I guess more recently they've noticed certain things in the way the ball moves that's very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So they are cutting basically everything out and seeing what happens. And offense has gone up since they took all that stuff out. Now, but they're doing that thing where they're like basically embarrassing the pitchers as they leave, where they're like checking their glove and their hat and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But like the Trevor Bauer on the Dodgers point out that like the thing he would use is suntan lotion and it was sweat and rosin, which is the thing that's behind the mound that they shake the white stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, is the MLB gonna tell us not to sweat anymore, or because it's like some of this stuff is illegal, obviously, because there's like hardcore stuff that they'll put on their hands, and it's like, okay,
Vagisil.
take that off. Vagisil.
The umpires watch me. I put a little jalapeno up in my nose, get that thing running, and
there you go. That's the way to do it.
It's not on the ball. I ain't got an arm like you. I'll put anything on it I can find. That's a great movie. Major League. Great
Major
movie.
League. You can watch it anytime. It's always
always
good.
on.
It's always on. It's always good.
And it'll never get old.
Nope.
It actually Austin Hedges.
Yeah.
He played for the Padres, and Beth, my wife, knows his wife. And actually we just saw her not too long ago down in Rosarito. And I was talking about how he got traded last season, 2 seasons ago.
It was either last season or 2 seasons ago.
To the Indians.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and his wife Maggie, I was talking to her, and I was asking about Cleveland and all that kind of stuff. And Austin's he's a nice guy. I've met him once. He's a cool dude. She's a very nice young lady. And I was asking about Cleveland, and she loves it. I guess the Indians organization's like really a tight organization. They like it a lot. And I told him like that's an organization. The Indians baseball team will always have like a special place in my heart just because of Major League. I was rooting for him in those movies.
Yeah.
So when I heard he got traded to the Indians, it's like, yeah, that sucks that you're not gonna be in San Diego anymore. But still, it's the Indians.
Yep.
And Cleveland's a great sports town too.
Yeah.
Like the Midwest, hardworking people, and they want they love their sports
Cleveland
teams out
rocks.
There. The what?
Cleveland rocks. It's a song.
Who
From the
sings
Drew
that?
Carey show? I have no idea.
I never watched the Drew Carey
Oh.
show. He's fantastic on Price is Right, though.
Have you seen the Cleveland Indians closer? He wears number 99. He wears glasses and he has his hair like Ricky Vaughn.
Oh, no shit.
And I'm like, all right.
I haven't watched any baseball besides the Padres.
Yeah, I don't even know what channels they come on when it's not the Padres. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know are the games still on ESPN sometimes?
By the way, I brought this up a few weeks ago, how Jeopardy, ever since they lost Alex Trebek, it's kind of like it sucks, right? So Blossom.
Mayim Bialik.
What?
Mayim Bialik.
Is that her real name?
Yeah.
Whatever. Her name's
She's
Blossom.
on Big Bang Theory.
Her name's Blossom, dog.
Right.
Anybody my age knows her as Blossom. Okay. But anyway, she's been the host for Jeopardy like the past I don't know, a week or two. She's awesome.
Yeah.
They should give her the job. And Turns out she's a fucking genius.
Yes, she really is.
She's like a neuroscientist or something like that.
Someone asked her at a red carpet once for the Big Bang Theory. They're like, well, if you were a neuroscientist, what would you? She's like, I actually am a neuroscientist. And the interviewer just was like, felt so stupid.
Yeah, but she's good, man. I think they should give her the full-time job. I think she's great. And she's Blossom.
Yeah.
Great show.
Do you think that they'll give someone the full-time job, or do you think it'll just be kind of revolving door people?
They need to find somebody to do it permanently, because the rotating host thing, it doesn't work. It don't work. I like having the face.
You like knowing who you're gonna see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to get like the cadence of the question and all that. Like Pat Sajak, right? Pat Sajak has Wheel of Fortune dialed in.
Yep.
He could do that in his sleep.
He could do it in his sleep probably. He could just wake up and be like, go.
Same thing with like, Bob Barker back in the day. And now actually Drew Carey does a really good job on Price is Right, but you need a host that just knows how to keep it going, and that's what because when you keep bringing in these rotating these hosts, there's always going to be like a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah.
You need somebody that just knows how to do it, man. Just goes, step by step.
Yeah, that's true. I never really watched Jeopardy because it always makes me feel really dumb.
Nah, I love Jeopardy, man.
It's like they ask so many questions and I'm like, I never know the answers to any of them.
Sometimes you'll get a category, man, where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run this category, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it'll be like Star Wars, and you're like, it's my shit. Or like movies, or like music, or something, and you're just like, oh, I got this, dude. And you actually start to learn like the like the skills to win Jeopardy, right? Like double Jeopardy. If you get like a double Jeopardy question, like how much you should wager, like all that kind of stuff. If you watch it enough, you're like, dude, you start to pick up like the little stuff, like, oh, this is how you would win. So,
well, you should get on there.
No, I would fail horribly. Sometimes I do pretty good, but then sometimes you're just like, sometimes I feel like it's just way too smart.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing. I watched my wife and we watched a little documentary on Jeopardy. It was right before Trebek passed away, and they're talking about like you could go in there and only put the smartest of the smart people on Jeopardy, right? And make it really tough questions and all that kind of stuff, but you're gonna lose the audience.
Yeah.
What's half the fun of watching Jeopardy? You playing at home with your friends, family, guessing questions, and if you make those questions too tough, you're gonna lose a lot of viewers, because that's the fun.
Yeah.
And so you got to have like pop, culture questions in there. You got to have something that the regular person would know, not some incredibly smart person who's a part of Mensa.
Well, it's always funny when you see the really smart people and then they ask them like sports or pop culture questions.
Yeah.
They just have no idea. They're just like,
nobody buzzes in.
Nobody buzzes in. They're just all wrong. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well,
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Okay. My wife wants to free Britney. Britney spoke out.
Britney spoke out today.
I'm sure it was a hell of a speak out moment too.
Yep.
All right.
Oops, excellent. She did it again.
Oops, she did it again. All right.
You watching Loki?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's getting good, man.
Yeah.
It's getting really good. I like this. It's a lot more sci-fi than the Falcon versus Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Falcon's flying around with goddamn bird wings on, and the Winter Soldier's got like a fake arm and all that stuff. So it's pretty science fiction.
Yeah.
But like Loki is like real science fiction as far as like time traveling, all that. It's great, man. And I feel like this series is really gonna take the Marvel universe to the next level. Where they're gonna start introducing. Obviously the time travel thing right now, right? So they're introducing these timekeepers. I don't know who the hell they are, but it sounds like it's pretty powerful. I guarantee something tells me that there's no timekeepers either.
Maybe.
Something tells me like either there's no timekeepers or the timekeepers are like not good people themselves.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's going to introduce like a lot of more openings, I guess you can, for future movies. Like
I think this is like going to be the start of what is like the next, like in all the next set of movies, like, because they're talking about the multiverse.
Yeah.
And if you listen to all the talk about all the upcoming movies, it's all going to involve that stuff. So I feel like this is the kind of the jumping off point of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, as it kind of on its own, it was good, but it was really only just setting up, giving Sam the shield.
That's it.
And I think WandaVision and this show were both setting up bigger stakes going forward
Yeah.
for the actual movies.
Yep.
Which I think is what interests people more than just a 7-episode story of something you already knew was coming.
Yeah. Plus, like I feel like after watching the Winter Sol or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I thought like, oh, I needed to watch that to understand what's going to happen with the upcoming movies. After watching that show, I go, I probably could have missed this.
Yeah.
Because really, what came out of that? Sam's the Captain America now, right? Whereas this right here with the Loki show that they're presenting, like you're gonna need to know a lot of this stuff going forward with the show.
Yeah.
With WandaVision, you're gonna need to know a lot of that stuff that happened to move on. Because that introduced a new Vision, right? Like white, I guess it's called like White Vision or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
And
he's got all his memories, so it's going to be the same Vision eventually. But
it introduced, what was her name? Wanda Maximoff. But it introduced her finally as the Scarlet Witch, and showed her like her powers are just like next level shit.
It shows Monica becoming whatever she's becoming, and that's going to play into Captain Marvel too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, it's all good stuff, dude. I feel like I hope they don't keep doing this, like end this series automatically on to the next series, because it's like
no. The next thing I think is God, now what the hell is her name? Black Widow movie comes out July 9th.
I mean, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
dude.
I don't think it's gonna have any kind of like impact on like the future of the movies, because
No.
obviously if you've seen Endgame, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a good movie.
It looks really cool, man.
Yeah.
It looks like almost like Jason Bourne-ish.
Yeah.
But with superheroes.
I think the next movie after that, I could be wrong. I think it's a Spider-Man movie. I think that comes out in December.
All right.
So I've heard that maybe Wanda's in that movie.
I want to see. I'm interested about the Eternals.
Yeah.
That looks pretty
A
interesting.
lot of great memes from that trailer.
Oh, really?
Where it's just like, Thanos is destroying the Earth. We're good. Some random villain comes up. Oh, we're good. Now all of a sudden, something happens. We're like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Now we're coming in.
This shit's getting out of control.
We're like, all right.
It's like,
It's really hard for me to see Kumail Nanjiani with like muscles.
Yeah, he's all yoked up.
It's very concerning for me. He does not look okay. But no, it's all the Marvel stuff is good. We got to get Chris Terry on here so he can yell at people about fan theories.
I know.
Because I've already got one for Loki. Maybe Loki's not a variant after all. Maybe this is the Loki we see in all the movies.
Maybe this is the Loki you see in all the movies.
Yeah, maybe because in the initial Avengers movie, you don't see what happens downstairs when they go down the elevator.
Oh,
so for all we know, this Loki could have gone and done all this and then go back and experience everything.
And then set the time.
That's him having to set the timeline right. It's just knowing all this is going to happen. He still experiences everything, including his own death.
Interesting.
There's a lot of holes you can poke in it. I've already done it myself, but it's fun. It's fun. I think fan theories are fun, but some people take them way too seriously.
Yeah, like I think fan theories are fun.
Yeah,
that's just like it's so funny. Like when you look at like Star Wars, right? Star Wars has become this bigger than just the movies, right? There's the extended universe of Star Wars and all that.
Yep.
And what is all that? That's just fans talking shit, right?
Yep.
Like saying like, oh yeah, and then you have this guy and this is his background and this is his home planet and it's like it's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all like make believe, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Like that's all like fan theories are. It's just people doing their own version of what they think is going to happen, or and it's just fun, man. That's cool.
The bad part about fan theories is when people get mad that the things that they came up in their head with don't actually happen. Yeah. I'm like, well, just remember this was a theory that you had. This wasn't actually what was really going to happen.
You know what's interesting is when the fan made, or like the fan movies, like Star Wars has a lot of fan made movies, when they're better than the actual like studio produced movies. These little like 20-minute fan made movies. Did you ever see the Power Rangers fan made movie with Jason Vanderbeek?
No.
Oh my God. Were you a Power Rangers fan when you were growing up?
When I was a kid, yeah.
It was sick, right?
It was awesome.
And you grew up, right? When you were a kid, you liked Power Rangers.
Yep.
And now you're an adult. You still like if somebody presented you with an adult themed Power Rangers movie, right? Something that happened, let's say you have these teenage high school kids fighting intergalactic aliens and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Something tells me you're going to get kind of fucked up in the head after that, right?
Yeah.
You got the world's future in your hands,
Yeah.
right? You gotta protect the world. You're gonna get fucked up from that, right? So one of these fan made movies for the Power Rangers had Jason Vanderbeek in it, and it shows all the Power Rangers are now like either like drug addicts or they're just kind of pieces of shit, or they're taking advantage of like the abilities they have and now they're making more money.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And I watched that and I was like, this is what should be made by the studios. Instead, they gave you the biggest pile of shit movie you've ever seen in the latest Power Rangers movie, which was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna see it, and then everyone told me it was just
It's the shit.
the worst fucking movie they've ever seen.
The original Power Rangers movie, sick as fuck.
Yeah.
The latest Power Rangers movie, whatever the one that last one they shit out with Bryan Cranston as
Zordon.
That was a big pile of shit.
Have you ever seen the movie Chronicle?
Yes, that's where the kids become superheroes.
Yeah, that's kind of what. I think that's kind of what would really happen with Power Rangers. If you just got powers as a teenager, I feel like
I would totally
you'd have a
abuse
couple
it.
of people who would be like cool, and then there'd be that one who like kind of just slowly loses his mind
I would
and
totally
turns into the
abuse
bad
powers. If I was that age, I would totally abuse my powers.
guy. Yeah,
But
That's what
why
I thought when you
that's
said
why I've
that.
not been chosen.
that's why I know Zordon has not morphed you to the command center.
Yeah.
You've never met Alpha 5.
He knows I can be corrupted. All right, man.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's finish it up. This weekend, Sunday, Global Lucha Libre up in Escondido. Go to their Instagram account. If you need more information, go to Facebook, type in Global Lucha Libre. They have a Facebook page. I'm sure you'll be able to find some information there. And I will be wrestling for them. And that's this Sunday. That is the what is this Sunday, by the way?
It is, I believe,
The 27th.
A day in June.
It's the June 27th. That's it. Go check it out. 1891 East Valley Parkway, Escondido, California.
What is the name of the place it's at?
Some body art place.
Okay, because I used to work in Escondido, and East Valley Parkway has so much shit. I was trying to figure out.
Escondido
is.
Body Art.
Yeah, it
This is where
sounds
it's at.
familiar.
They've had one show prior to the pandemic, and yeah, it's fine, man. It's out in the back parking lot. It's a nice little spot for wrestling. All right, man. Do you have anything going on this weekend?
I don't think so. I do not believe anything's going on.
Excellent. Well, that's all that's going on.
That's all. Yeah, you're wrestling. I'm doing nothing.
Excellent. All right, man. Let's wrap this up.
You got it.
If you want the tip, you got to take the whole hog. Adios.
You're gonna die, you're gonna